Welcome adventurers. It is Hutch again with Ready Set Adventure Box.
And Scout and Ember.
That's right. After being joined today by Scout and Ember. What are we working on today, Scout?
We're building a knife. It looks like this when you're done, and it looks like this when it isn't done.
That's right. So in your kits, can I see it real quick, Scout? In your kits, you've got a nifty little metal tin. Keep this for later. You can put your knife back in it, but keep it. And in a few weeks, we're going to show you how to build the ultimate fishing kit out of this. But in the meantime, it's filled with the niftiest little wooden knife. And this is how a real folding knife is made. We're going to put this together, and then it's the greatest little thing for working on knife safety and maybe even some soap carving. All right, you guys ready to get started? Hey, Haas, you ready too? All right, let's get going.
Now this small blade is called your pin blade, and the large blade is called your master blade. That's called the swedge of your knife, and this is of course the face, and on the face there's a nail nick. This is the run-up, the back square, and the round. And this of course is the sharp portion of your face, which we call the edge. Now the round end is in a folding knife where the knife and the handle connects. Those are called scales, the outside of the handle, and that of course is your spring. We like to hit each of these pieces briefly with sandpaper. Make sure not to sand too aggressively or it'll affect the fit. You can sand more later once it's put together. And always make sure to sand with the grain, not across the grain. That means follow the lines in the wood so you don't scratch it. So you can kind of see how the lines go here on the blade here, the main blade, the master blade. Now a point here is there is no bevel or no edge really on your knife. If you're going to use this for soap carving, you may want to file it to just a little bit of an angle, or you can just use a butter knife for soap carving. Now let's personalize these knives. You don't have to have fancy markers. Regular old Crayola markers or Sharpies, anything will do. Just pick a couple favorite colors and color each and every piece of the knife the way that you want. It's much easier if you do this before you assemble it. Plus, we're going to do one more thing to strengthen the knives because we know our knives are going to be jammed into dirt and soap and any manner of things while my little adventurers are playing with them. Now you just have to let the markers dry and you're going to have a completely customized little wooden knife kit. If you've got some around the house, polyurethane or decoupage or any kind of a sealant is a good idea to use on the knives because we might be using these to play in the dirt or basically anything you would use a real knife for, you're going to be using this little adventure knife for, and it strengthens the wood and it protects the color and it also keeps out any dampness or moisture. Just make sure not to go too nuts with it or it will affect the fit of the blade and you might have to do a little sanding afterwards. Now here's a great tip with the knives. If you stick a toothpick through the blade, not only will it make the polyurethane a lot easier to apply without getting all over you, because you don't want any bumps or drips when you're applying these, but it'll give you a nifty way to hang up the pieces while it's drying so that all of the polyurethane drips right off. And then just follow the directions for polyurethane to get a nice finish and protective layer like you would like. Now those will drip dry and the other pieces will dry as well. We're actually doing it outside so that wind helps. Just go ahead and cover the rest of your knife, let it dry, and this is the perfect time to move on to another one of your adventures while you're letting everything dry, and you can assemble the rest later. So remember, even if you're just waiting for paint to dry, there's no such thing as a small adventure.